On the other side of this wall stood the first temple and the second temple. They were destroyed. And the third temple, when the Messiah comes, will come here on the other side of the wall. And we're told that God's revealed presence never left these stones from the time of the temple to now. And that's what we feel here when we come here. God's revealed presence.
This is the holiest place that we have right now. The third temple is going to come right here.
Okay. So without a doubt, you believe that
there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt.
Although most people today are convinced that the temples were located on the Temple Mount, that wasn't the case 1,600 years ago.
If I told you in the 4th century there was 4 places that rabbis were suggesting for the temple, 4 different locations in the 4th century, would you believe me?
No, our tradition is that authoritative tradition wins out, and we go with what we have. We don't do our own thing. We don't try to make our own assumptions. We have what we have. If we don't have what our parents and rabbis gave us, then we have nothing.
Before somebody can come along and change what's already been established, they're going to have to be greater than the ones who established it.
Challenging a long-held tradition is not easy, but it's mandatory in our quest to find the truth.
Having a tradition challenged is never comfortable, and yet essential if we're going to really get at the truth and what really happened and what really is going to happen.
You are Jew? No. I have no time to lose with you.
Could it even be possible that the greatest archaeological mistake of all times has occurred in locating the temples of Herod and Solomon on the Temple Mount? And if so, where is the true location of the temple today? The prophetic implications are absolutely astounding, and the political repercussions from it could alter the entire complexion of the Middle East.
Hi, my name is Bob Cornuke, and we're in Old Jerusalem, and I'm about to take you on an expedition like you've never been on before. We're going to look for the lost location of Solomon's and Herod's temples. I believe that archaeology has really missed this one. I think that history is stunningly wrong saying that the Temple Mount is the place of where Herod's temples and Solomon's temples were located. So we're going to take out the Bible, and we're going to use that as a road map and as a compass to solve this most ancient mystery.
In around 957 BC, God had King Solomon build a temple for worship, sacrifice, and to house the Ark of the Covenant. This magnificent facility stood until 586 BC, when the Babylonians destroyed it and took the Israelites captive. In around 515 BC, Zerubbabel and other Israeli exiles were able to return to Jerusalem in order to rebuild the temple on top of the demolished first temple. This second temple wasn't as spectacular as Solomon's, but served its purpose until 20 BC, when King Herod initiated a significant renovation and expansion project. This is the temple that stood in Jesus' day, where he taught on several occasions and where he confronted the money changers. In 70 AD, 4 years after the Jews rebelled against the Roman Empire, military commander Titus and the Roman army utterly destroyed the temple. Today, many Jews and Christians are anticipating the day when a third temple will be rebuilt, as foretold in the book of Ezekiel. Tradition says it needs to be rebuilt on the same spot where Solomon and Herod's temple stood. Will that be the Muslim-controlled Temple Mount, or is it somewhere else? This makes the search for the temple's actual location that much more imperative. Biblical explorer Bob Cornuke has spent the past few decades searching for the real Mount Sinai, the Ark of the Covenant, Noah's Ark, and the Apostle Paul's shipwreck in Malta. His search for the location of Solomon and Herod's temples really began several years ago when he was reading Matthew 24.
The Bible tells us in Matthew 24, where Jesus is speaking. And he's speaking to his disciples, and he's walking away from the temple. And he is looking up at the temple, and he tells the disciples, he said,
"Truly I tell you, Not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down.
Not one stone. Total annihilation. And that's what we hear from history, that the temple was totally destroyed.
The hill called Zion